If you didn't know it already, that is what we are. That is who we are. We are the children of God. The reason the world does not know us is because it didn't know him. We are a different kind of people. We're not the same. You will be powerful when you find out who you really are. When you can say in even the worst circumstances, even the most hopeless of situations, when you can say who you are, when you can know your identity and it is unconditional. It doesn't waver. It's not tossed around. It's not one thing one day and something else the next day. It's immovable. It is constant. When you know who you are, when you have your identity in place and you know who you are, you will experience power in that. So, what is your identity based on? This is a real question. I really want you to think about it. What is your identity based on? For some of us, our identity is mainly men. Okay, men, our identity is wrapped up in what we do, isn't it? I mean, hey, you get two guys together, one of the first things they ask is, what do you do? Right? What do you do? Because what you do is what you are, but not according to God. So, what is your identity based on? Is it based on what you do for a living? Is it based on where you live? Is it based on what group or club or whatever that you're a member of? Is it based on your hobbies? Is it based on your family, women, ladies, mothers? Is it based on your family? Is it based on the family that you came from? Is it based on the things that happened to you whenever you were young? Is it based on the things that you are angry about? Or is it based on things that you are afraid of? Or is it based on something else? Do you see where I'm going? I mean, we base our identity on all kinds of things. But I told you last week about this word perfection. God bases our identity on something else. God has chosen to identify us as our finished, complete selves. And it makes sense, right? I mean, it really does. It makes sense. Because God created every person with a purpose and a plan for that person. And the purpose is not just one purpose, just one thing that you're supposed to do in life. But God sees the person that He created you to be. He is the I am. He is outside of space and time. He sees the old person that you were. He sees the current person that you are. But here's the thing. This is the great thing. Is He sees you as the person that He created you to be, that you will eventually become. And that is how God identifies you. Come on, somebody. Amen. Come on, somebody. Yes. He sees you not as you were, not as you are, but as what you could be if you would be. He sees you as the person that you could be if you would just allow God to transform you into that person. But religious people have told us for decades and years and years and years, they have told us that it cannot happen here. It cannot happen here. But that's not what God says. It's not what the New Testament writers say. And so I want to share with you some scriptures that pertain to this, ones that I didn't share last week. 1 John says, what great love the Father has lavished. Don't you love that word, lavish? What great love the Father has lavished on us, that we should be called the children of God. And that is what we are. The reason the world does not know us is that it did not know him. The world doesn't know us because it didn't know him. Wait a minute. Jesus is Jesus and we are us. Jesus is holy and righteous and perfect. And we are wretched sinners that are here. And we're just like all the other people in the world. No, we're not. No, we're not. No. The Father has lavished his love on us. That's the difference. He has lavished us with his love, and we are called the children of God. God calls us his children. And that, if you didn't know it already, that is what we are. That is what we are. That is who we are. We are the children of God. The reason the world does not know us is because it didn't know him. What John is saying is we are a different kind of people. We're not the same as we used to be. We have been changed into a different type of person. We have the capability now of becoming like Christ. We have the capability now to be transformed into the image of Christ. We have the capability now, getting back to our series, we have the capability now to be transformed by the renewing of our minds. We didn't have that capability before, but now we have been changed. And Paul said we must be changed. We must be changed. For this mortal must put on immortality, and this corruptible must put on incorruption. We must be changed. And then he goes on. He says, dear friends, now we are children of God. We are the children of God. And what we will be has not yet been made known, but we know, this is so good, but we know that when Christ appears, we shall be like him. For we shall see him as he is. All who have this hope in him purify themselves just as he is pure. In other words, if you have this hope in you, if you have this hope in you, that you will be like him when he appears. If you have that hope purifies you and makes you like him. Does that make sense? If you have that hope in you, it purifies you and it makes you like him. So, but we know that when Christ appears, so the work, I mean, you see the order, right? The work doesn't take place after he appears. The work takes place before he appears, so that when he appears, we shall be like him, for we shall see him as he is. And I want to just reverse this and say that when we see him as he is, we will become like him.